Hey everybody, Coach O'Connor here. It is Friday, Friday evening, and this Tuesday I was busy and wasn't able to hit the training, so I really apologize for that. But this is our training of the week. Today I'm going to focus with you on addiction, um, alcoholism, chemical dependency. If you hear me talk about any of those terms, addiction, chemical dependency, alcoholism, you could hear them interchangeably today. And we're going to kind of look at the disease model. The reason people think that alcoholism or chemical dependency can be considered a disease is because of these factors. It is chronic. It doesn't go away. It won't go away on its own. It's not going to be prejudiced either on your skin color, your ethnic background, your age, or your gender. And I will say this, the youngest person I ever saw that was an alcoholic full blown was 9. The youngest person I ever saw use drugs and alcohol was 6. So keep in mind, there's age is no barrier. So we want to look at this from a parent's perspective, but also at ourselves and all ages. There is no discrimination here. So it's chronic, doesn't go away. It's progressive. It gets worse. It gets worse. Never expect, if you're an addict, for your use to really help you. It will lead you down a path of destruction. It's a progressive illness. This is a familial illness. It affects the whole family. Anytime a family member suffers in any way, it hurts the family. But this is a very insidious disease. Insidious means more dangerous than evident. It's very dangerous. We know that the entire family gets sick. Even the people that don't use drugs or alcohol will get sick. And this is a fatal disease. So claims 90% of its victims. So 90% of the people that contact this illness will die or go insane from it. 10% will recover. This is a primary illness. This should be treated first. There's other things going on, dual diagnosis and things like that. This is one you've got to treat first. It is treatable. That is the good news. And it is very successful treatments are available through abstinence and support in AA, NA, Celebrate Recovery. There's a lot of help out there for recovering alcoholics and addicts. And so don't think this is a hopeless situation. Also, remember what I said about the age. Doesn't matter if they're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So you can contact this illness at any age. How do you know? How do you know if someone is chemically dependent? I'm going to give you the telltale signs. First one is you look for a loss of control. Is the person losing control of their life, either their grooming habits, their eating habits, their money, their social life? Is there any loss of control? You look for loss of control, and then you look for continued use despite that loss of control. So using despite negative consequences. Somebody who's an alcoholic will go out and smash a car and then drink again, or spend their whole paycheck and then do it again. So there's that loss of control and using despite negative consequences. The number one symptom of this illness is denial. This is a disease that people deny having. Oh no, I won't drink. I won't mix my medication with alcohol. Look for denial. That is a telltale sign that you might be dealing with an addict. Also, if they tried to quit. See, people who don't have a problem, they just quit. There's no big fanfare, there's no wagon, no nothing. They just quit. You don't hear anything about it. But the alcoholic or the chemical dependent person, they make a big thing about it. I'm going to try to quit. So people that don't have this illness, they just stop. It's no big deal. Let's look at genetics. So when I was a kid, my dad woke me up because he was an alcoholic and he came home late, and there was a note on the table that said, "Dad, things would be a lot better around here if you didn't drink. Love, Tom." And he woke me up. He said, "Tom, why'd you left me that note, man? It really hit home. I said, Dad, I didn't write you no note. He woke my mom up and she said, you wrote that to your dad. You see the genetic pass through? Now here's some percentages. These aren't well tested, but let's just say this. If one parent is an alcoholic, there's a 25% chance that your offspring will be. If you have two parents that are chemically dependent, there's a 50% chance that your child will be. And if neither parent is an addict or an alcoholic, there's still a 10% chance that your offspring will be. How does that factor into our schools today or our clubs? 1 out of 4 households has somebody in there that's chemically dependent. How is this happening? And what are my big concerns right now? So I'm going to tell you. So marijuana has become legal here in Michigan. Now, in some states it's not still, but in a lot of states it's becoming legal. I want you to think about one drug plus one drug does not equal 2. Marijuana plus alcohol, those chemicals multiply and speeds up the addiction process. So it's a very dangerous combination. Also, we've got to let you know right out of the gate that, so well, I'm not ever going to drink hard liquor again, and then they go to drinking 12 beers. Whether it's a one ounce shot of whiskey, 12-ounce can of beer, or a 6-ounce glass of wine, they all contain the same amount of ethyl alcohol. So they're equal. Those drinks, it doesn't matter. You're still getting that alcohol content out of each one of those. What are some of the ways young people get addicted, or any even adults? But there's the physical addiction. Some drugs are physically addictive, and you know, with the opiate crisis, those are physically addictive. That if you don't get them, you'll go through a withdrawal and you'll get sick. Alcohol is physically addictive. There's 3 ways though. There's physical, there's a mental addiction, and the third way, which is very dangerous too, but a lot of people forget about it, is socially. You can get addicted socially. So when I was growing up, in my 6th grade science book, it said cocaine was non-addictive. So we went into our junior high years thinking cocaine's a safe drug. But what they were saying was there was no physical dependence on that drug, but they forgot to tell us that you could get addicted mentally and you could get addicted socially. So what happened in the 80s was a huge crack epidemic. Went into the 90s, and there's a lot of carryover still today in the cocaine craze and the methamphetamine craze. But I wanted to just warn you a little bit about the social addiction as well, and then also keep in mind that, you know, smoking a joint and drinking a beer, you don't have 2 chemicals in you. Those chemicals multiply, and it's a very deadly combination. It speeds up the addiction process. So just everybody that's, you know, I say this, everyone falls on this continuum. They're either non-users, they use, they misuse, they abuse, or they're addicted. See, the chemical dependency is way down on the spectrum. But once you cross that line, it's pretty certain you have the illness. There's people who, you know, 1/3 of the people in the world don't use at all. Then you have some people that use and there's never any problems. Then you have the misuse where there might be, oh, I have a hangover, or, you know, I got sick, or we just overdid it. And then there's the abuser who just, you know, for some reason overindulges for a period of time. And then there's the chemically dependent person who, you know, is addicted. So I hope this helps a little bit on just our overview of addiction, chemical dependency, alcoholism. It's more, we'll do some more trainings on this, but if you're a parent right now, I just want you to think about prevention, think about getting the number one, you know, thing we need to do is educate our young people and let them know that, you know, they're not really ready for any of these drugs, alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, or any of these other mushrooms, any of that stuff at the early age. You really want to have your body fully developed, you know, in your 20s to really be able to tackle some of these drugs. So it's a good start. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday.